What's up, guys? I am officially back from my skiing holiday with my amazing family, and it does seem that I've lost a little bit of strength, but it is temporary, and we will fast regain it and go above and beyond. Now, the program that I've decided upon doing will be a 4-day lower upper split, so it's going to be lower upper. Then on Wednesday we do cardio and taekwondo, then lower upper, and then cardio. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And the thing that I've realized right now is if I kind of spread out my exercises, I can actually max out 4 days a week on some exercise. So for example, on the Monday, I'm going to have this as my squat day. I'm going to max out on squats. So I started off with the pistol squat today, got 30 kilos on both legs, probably could have gone 40 with my right leg, however, so there is a discrepancy in strength there. But the idea is to basically do max squat on Monday, then on Tuesday, I'm probably going to max out on some form of pull-up. Then on Thursday, when it's legs again, I'll max out on a deadlift instead of a squat. So I'll have this kind of back and forth action going on with, yes, it is 4 maxes per week, but if you look at what I've done historically with Bulgaria and so on, that hasn't been an issue. What I'm going to have to do, however, is rotate my exercises quite a bit so that I don't, destroy myself, basically. But when it comes to specifically squats, specifically pressing, specifically deadlifts, I'm not really going to be maxing out on a certain exercise more than once per week. And even when it comes to like pressing, for example, I'll probably do some form of overhead press every other week and some form of horizontal press every other week, just to kind of spread it out even more. The idea is to learn to strain against a very heavy weight and then to come in after and do hypertrophy work to build muscle. As you can see here, today I decided to squat 100 kilos for 3 sets of 8, and while it looked easy and it wasn't too heavy, I had some, not really cramping, but very close to. My abductors and my glutes were completely destroyed from squats today, especially the abductors, and doing higher rep squats. It's just 8 reps, but it feels high. With this wide stance, really trashes those muscles. And in the beginning here, I will start off with 3 sets twice per week. So I'm going to be getting a total of 6 hard sets of squats per week. And for the coming weeks, I'll probably do this for the foreseeable future. After that, however, I will increase it, since we know that a muscle needs around 10 to 20 sets per week to stimulate optimal growth. And that obviously is going to depend massively from person to person, and there's a whole argument for half sets, for example. Do deadlifts hit the quads? Yes, they do, but how much, and so on. But 10 to 20 direct sets, that's me being weird that I really had some hip problems. Also, I'm allergic to something. I'm sorry about that. My nose is a bit stuffy, but I'm feeling really good about this workout. So 3 sets of 8 on squats. The idea here is really to just get some good solid work in. And I mean, this is going to be the majority of what actually is going to build the muscle and the strength in these lower body workouts. I mean, the squat is probably 60, 70, 80% of the leg gains you're ever going to make in your life. It's the foundation, it's the basis. And, you can replace squats with other things, but it's simply more efficient to do them. I mean, you don't really have a glute exercise that's better. I believe there are studies that have come out, not recently, even a couple of years ago, which basically said that squats stimulate glute hypertrophy better than hip thrusts, which the hip thrust is literally designed to train your glutes for an optimal range of motion. So squats are amazing. As for deadlifts, and I mean, one of these muscles that is going to get a lot of work done are my glutes, since I'm going to be doing 3 sets of squats and 3 sets of deadlifts twice per week. And on both the squats and the deadlifts, I chose around 70%, 71% on my 1 rep max to kind of start. However, I'm having some really bad right wrist pain, and as you can hear here, I can easily crack my wrist. So my right wrist with both supination and pronation, it's been hurting quite a bit in recent years, and that's because I've been hitting. I used to have a tire heavy bag that I would hit without gloves as hard as I can, and that really fucked up my wrists. So sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's better, but through the course of these sets, it started feeling better with the wrist. However, my back isn't straight on these deadlifts, so that's something I can improve upon. What I really focused on today was having as little arm bend as possible, really trying to keep my arms as extended as possible to get more of an optimal kind of starting point for the deadlift. However, after the squats, I was so destroyed in the glutes, like I was in a lot of pain. Even getting into the deadlift position like caused a lot of pain in my glute muscles, like so much so that I didn't even want to get in a good position, which really diminished the quality of these deadlifts today. However, I did get 3 sets of 8 with 70% of my previous max, so that's a good thing at least. And I don't know if this is the last set or not, I can't see that. But the deadlift obviously is here to hit the glutes and the hamstrings and the entire back musculature, as well as the grip, to a much larger degree. I mean, there isn't really any exercise that will give you more muscle gains than the squat and the deadlift. And I would argue the deadlift is probably going to hit more muscles in total. However, since it doesn't really have the best stimulus to fatigue ratio, it fatigues you a lot for those many gains that it gives. So I won't be doing a shitload of deadlifts. I'll probably cap it out at 6 sets per week. So 3 sets on Monday, 3 sets on Thursday, and I'll keep it there. But this is an exercise I hopefully will be continuing to do on a consistent basis, and if I do have a hard time recovering, I probably will switch to either deficit deadlifts to get more of a range of motion and a bit less compression, spinal compression, to be able to get more out of a lighter weight, or I'll simply do double overhand deadlifts instead. Both of those have worked for me in the past, those strategies to kind of get around that. And another thing is really working on the form, getting it down, getting it dialed in, because if you have perfect form on a deadlift, you're not really going to have problems with pain and aches to the same extent. Although you're always going to have kind of a compressive element to the deadlift. I mean, you're lifting a heavy weight by many standards. I mean, 120 kilos for a completely random normal teenager. I mean, if you compare that to someone who doesn't lift weights, that's a lot of compression on your spine. Anyone who works manual labor, they don't want to lift those kind of weights. So it just goes to show, even though the deadlift is in an optimal position, it's an exercise you don't want to fuck around with, or you're going to find out a lot. My nose is killing me, bro. Next up are these. This is an exercise I'm going to be working on. This is basically a Nordic hamstring curl, except I'm using my hands, kind of doing a jumping push-up at the bottom to really get out of that position. Since I don't really have any good way to set up bands or anything else to help me, and I don't want to do partials because I don't believe those are as beneficial, I'm going to be doing these for the foreseeable future once again and really working on that. And when I do see fit, I will figure out a way to make these more challenging. But right now, this felt very difficult. I was doing 3 sets of 8 on these, and I still feel my hamstrings, not to a massive degree, but it's a great starting point, and it really works well to do this directly after deadlifts and hit the second function of the hamstrings, which is not only hip extension but also knee flexion. You need both, and when it comes to hamstring size as well as injury prevention, doing those will really do wonders, and I haven't been doing that. That's one of the things I'll start doing. Another thing here that I'm going to reintroduce, or rather introduce for the first time, is the good morning. I've never taken this seriously. I'm going to start doing it now. I'll start off with a narrow stance, very little bending of the knee, and do them in this kind of a style, more stiff-legged, which will really hit my lower back and my hamstrings to a much larger degree. Once I feel kind of comfortable with this, I'll start adding weight very slowly, and I'm not going much higher than maybe 40, 50 or 60 kilograms for fairly high reps on these. And that's kind of what I'm going to be working. Now, when I plateau on this, I'll be doing a wider stance good morning for a while, but this is kind of what I want to learn first. And as you can see, the form isn't down yet. It's kind of the body control, and that rep, for example, wasn't the best. You want to really have that balance over the midfoot, not tipping forwards or backwards, keeping that spine extended, chest up, not rolling over in the bottom of the rep. There's a lot to think about here, and that's why I'm starting off with the empty bar, because very few people ever hurt themselves with the empty bar who could deadlift 170 kilograms. And the second last exercise here. Guys, I'm a fucking genius. I just figured out how to do a donkey calf raise completely solo. No, I didn't look it up. I literally just figured this out. I've taken inspiration from clips of Arnold Schwarzenegger doing donkey calf raises with girls on his back, but since I pull no bitches, I'm going to be doing these with weights instead, and I figured out the way to load this by watching powerlifters doing belt squats basically, and I figured, oh fuck, I can do calves this way. And as soon as I realized, guys, this is the best fucking calf exercise I've ever done. Not to pretend like I've trained calves consistently ever, I haven't. What you see there, my calves right there, I've probably done less than 100 sets of dedicated calf work in my entire life. So I've really not worked calves as hard as I could. The only thing I've really ever done is martial arts. When I was younger, I used to do a lot of flips and jumping on trampolines and things. And in addition to those two measly exercises, one thing that actually has given me a little bit of growth is jumping rope for long periods of time, up to 14 minutes straight. So that has been a historical factor which really helped my calves. But I'm going to be taking those to the next level. I don't know what my calf genetics are like. I do seem to have a fairly full muscle belly, and I probably do have a lot of potential. However, my dad, he has absolutely insane calves, which are far bigger than mine. So, yeah, I could actually have it as well, the potential for those kind of big, juicy calves. But you never know until you try, and I'm going to be doing these for many months now. I'm going to be taking this exercise very seriously. I don't have a goal weight in mind right now, but 60 plus kilos is where I'm aiming for, what I'm aiming for 3 sets of 20. That's what I'm doing right here. And what I like about this the most is you get a very deep stretch and you can actually flex fairly well at the top. I chose a weight which 20 kilos, it's not heavy and it's not extremely light. It's going to stretch at the bottom and you're still going to be able to flex at the top. So it was a perfectly balanced weight, and I'm looking forward to adding onto that in the future. Now, to finish off this little, or rather large, massive workout today, I figured I'm going to start training abs. So I did 2 proper sets of abs today, a superset, I would like to call it, maybe even a drop set by some definitions. So I have moon boots, which I never used, and those are the things I'm using to hook me up to the bar right there. And what I figured out is doing sit-ups or crunches or whatever you want to call these upside down they are so much more difficult than regular sit-ups, to the point to where if you want to do these with proper form, I mean getting your head up to hip level or above, your abs are going to get destroyed after like 6 reps, which is what I did today. And I'm looking forward to getting this to 20 plus reps, but that's obviously going to take me a while. But I'm going to do these at the end of every fucking workout as well, and really start working on these abs. Obviously, I'm bulking. At this point, I bulked enough to where it's actually visible, and my mum told me I have a muffin top, which isn't super nice. She's always been used to seeing me very lean, but she thinks I'm getting fatter, which I am. But I am going to get lean in the future, but right now I'm really going to just try and build these abs, and I'll reveal them in 2024. But you'll have to start somewhere. I've never taken ab training seriously, and this is the time to do that as well. So a lot of new exercises. Started training calves, taking the hamstring and the lower back training more seriously, as well as just getting back into the high rep squats. So I'm looking forward to this new program, and tomorrow I'll explain a bit more what I'm going to do with the upper body segment. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.